Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of HCAM Sports Talk. Coming up in just a moment, we'll be joined by Andy Barron to talk some of the NFL craziness that is happening. But first, a whole lot happened with the Hopkinton Hillers over the holiday break and into the first week of 2025. Here are the latest Hopkinton Hiller highlights. In week 4 of the Hiller winter season, Hopkinton Wrestling hosted Norwood at Doyle Gym on Thursday, January 2nd. The Hillers took the 51-28 win and improved to 2-0. On Friday, January 3rd, Hiller girls basketball hosted Westwood. Westwood Media Center's Morgan Donahue joined HCAM's Tom Nappy on the call.
3-ball attempt to Weeman, yes!
Weeman.
She's feeling it.
Her brother is a player at Wentworth Institute of Technology, the AD there, Westwood grad. Cheryl Aaron.
Hiller's looking for an opening. Restaghini takes it in, down the lane, and puts it in, plus the foul.
What a move. Taking it to the rim and getting the foul as well.
Hillers led 16-15 after the first quarter of play.
Gets it underneath and just waiting at the left block for the Hillers is Rabinovich, and she goes up and in with it.
Great pass.
Wolverines hoping to respond. 3 attempt, yes!
Big answer. Big answer there by the sophomore Hogan.
And it's knocked out of the grasp of Chatton. She recovers. 1 second at the buzzer! Yes! Count it! Sophia Whitman-Krause lays it in. Wow! What a way to end the half.
The Hillers outscore Westwood 17-12 in the second quarter and led 33-27 heading into the third quarter.
Vallis on the entry. Gets it over to Restaghini, driving down. You count it. A well-needed bucket for the Hillers. They've been ice cold the last few minutes. On the elbow, Grady driving down, up for the shot. And what a put in that was.
It was a gritty defensive third quarter where the Hillers outscored Westwood 9-8 and took a 42-35 lead into the fourth quarter.
Restaghini up top, Chatton trying to feed it in, knocked away. Westwood gets it back. Hurley with the recovery, up to Law. Back to Hurley, up top, driving down. Nazalillo kicks it out. Law to the wing. Hurley for 3, knocks it down. Hillers, 20 seconds left.
No shot clock.
Shot clock is indeed off. Hurley with it. Feeds it into the interior, up for the shot. Angelina Holmesy. Hillers need to respond quickly. 7 seconds. 6. And it's knocked out of bounds. We have a foul.
Yep.
No good. Oh, we got a violation. They're going to say Whitman-Krause moved too soon, and Coach Greco disagrees.
Official's going to talk about it. I don't know what happened, but it looked like it did catch a piece of the side of the rim.
If the officials disagree here,
Hit the it's Hopkinton ball, so it hit the rim.
Hopkinton ball, 3.1 seconds left. Here we go.
So this is exactly what they wanted. A chance to be able to shoot, go for a 2, even have a look at a 3.
And now Coach Clifford wants an explanation.
We'll see what they go with here.
Wherever you get the ball, you just shoot.
Exactly. 3 seconds. You're shooting when you're open.
Chatting on the entry. Feeds it over to Grady for 3. No good. And that's your ball game. Westwood going to hang on for the 51-49 win.
Westwood strikes back, outscoring the Hillers 16-7 in the fourth quarter and takes the 51-49 win. Westwood improves to 5-0. The Hillers fall to 4-2. On Saturday, January 4th, the Hillers hosted Norwood at the New England Sports Center. It was a scoreless game heading into the second period.
Along the far side now, there's a shot, and that is in. It went off the right post and took an angle over that goal line. Rocco Farioli makes it a 1-0 game. Towards the near side now, Pedroli was battling for it. Norwood moves it up. Here comes Coyle. And there's a shot from the slot, and Braden Lee puts it in. Far side between Resnick and Farioli. Here comes Norwood. Racing up the ice around the defender, and he rings it in. TJ Martin, the captain, off the face-off. There's a shot, and it's put in. What a score there. It was put in front of the net, and it was Carl Zhao who put it in for the Hillers to make it 3-1.
Norwood nets 3 goals in the second frame, while the Hillers net a goal. Parker Rivera added another Hiller goal early in the third period, but Norwood would hang on for the 3-2 win. The Hillers fall to 0-3-2. Norwood improves to 4-0-1. Congratulations to the Norwood Mustangs head coach, Chuck Allen, on capturing his 100th career win.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this segment of HCAM Sports Talk. Tom Nappy here. And we are joined by Andy Barron. We're going to talk some NFL craziness, a whole lot happening. Andy, Happy New Year. Glad to finally have you back on the show. We've all been very busy with the holidays and such, but great to have you back. How are you?
I'm doing well. Happy New Year to you and your family, Tom. It's great to be back. Hard to believe we're into 2025. It has been a little while since we've sat down, and a lot has certainly happened during the end of the year, especially.
Yes, and I'm glad we were able to get the licensing to get you the nice background.
There we go. We match. I like
Absolutely.
It. Got this nice microphone here. I got this new set here. Yeah, I'm like got my own little studio up here now. Yeah.
There you go. Right? I mean,
feels good.
Hey, we're the best show on television. We should have some nice
true.
stuff.
That's true. And Happy New Year to HCAM too. Looking forward to another great year.
Absolutely. Another great year of HCAM Sports Talk, and hopefully in the very near future we'll get Jared and Steve back on the show as well. Unfortunately, they could make it tonight. And actually, look at this. We might have a surprise. Steve Watson might be popping in as we speak. So we might get a little Steve Watson on the show. Would you look at that? Unbelievable. The new year just full of surprises. But
True.
Andy, there he is. He's here. Steve Watson has joined the show. Steve, what a pleasant surprise. How are you?
I'm doing good, Tom. How about you?
Oh, we're doing just fantastic.
Come on, Steve. How are you?
What's up, Andy?
I figured this would be too big of a show for you not to come on with there's so much stuff that's happened in the last 24 hours.
Oh, and a lot of great stuff. So the saying Foxborough, I was at the game with Tom, and it's like they won. Okay, whatever. I'm not going to complain about a win because that's not me.
Yeah.
But they lost on the top draft pick. All right, But then that news came out about the coaching change. So, it wasn't a bad day. I know it's tough to lose on the top pick, but changes are coming. I just hope they get these upcoming moves right.
And Steve, lucky for you, we just kind of started the segment ourselves. Was running a little late today, so you didn't miss much.
Perfect.
But let's give our thoughts on the New England Patriots season that has come to an end in one of the weirdest ways possible. Everybody wanted them to lose to keep that number one draft pick. Of course, they end up beating the Buffalo Bills 23-16, and they move from the number one pick to the number 4. And then Gerard Mayo, right after the game, gets canned. So we know a new coach is going to be coming to Foxborough. Andy, we'll start with you. What are just your general thoughts about this season, general thoughts about this past Sunday's game, and general thoughts about the coaching situation?
There's so many things to get through. I'm going to tell you this. Steve and I were at the game against the Chargers a few weeks ago, which was an absolute, probably the worst game I've ever seen in my life. Empty seats, booing. Fans were livid at how bad they played. It was a horrible, horrible display. I remember we were texting during the game saying how Lad McConkey, wasn't he supposed to be playing here? Yeah, he absolutely obliterated us. I was done after that. Done. I don't even really know where to begin, but I've kind of gathered my thoughts. And first and foremost, this franchise is at a crossroads right now. I did not see Bob Kraft's press conference today, but it sounded like, from what Steve was saying, that it was he knows he messed up, and now you have the opportunity now to rebrand your franchise. Okay, let's go back to 1994 when Bill Parcells was hired here. But it was by James Orthwein, and then Patriots start 1-11, but then win 4 in a row. They knock the Miami Dolphins out of the playoffs. We think that the Patriots are moving to St. Louis. The Kraft family swoops in, buys the team, saves the franchise. Next thing you know, they're in the Super Bowl in '96. They win the Super Bowl in 2001. Tom Brady comes on board. They get Bill Belichick, and the rest is history. They win 6 Super Bowls. Just one of the most incredible runs in the history of the franchise. Then Tom Brady leaves. Belichick doesn't know what to do. Then Bill leaves. Now the Krafts don't know what to do. This is just not a destination right now. What are you going to get somebody to come here? Now, I will say, I'm encouraged by Drake May. I will give Gerard Mayo credit. I think they actually handled him pretty well for the most part this year, and I'm glad he played because it was the right move. And we finally see that, hey, I think we got something here. He's head and shoulders above Mac Jones and Cam Newton. It's not even close, guys. Not even close. Granted, he made some mistakes.
Joe
I can live with that.
Head and shoulders above Mac Jones.
But he made some mistakes. I can live with that. He's a rookie. But so I'm encouraged about that. Yesterday I had a lot of mixed feelings. Gerard Mayo already knew he was gone. Like there's no way they fired him an hour after the game. He was already probably told, you're not coming back. I don't think it's all his fault, but clearly he did not have control of this team. And this was all the leftovers really from Bill and everything that happened last year. But now you've got to you need to make a grand slam hire. No more excuses. This is a crossroads you are at right now. Grand slam hire. And I have some breaking news right here that I just found out. Ben Johnson will be interviewing for the Patriots job, the offensive coordinator for the Lions. I don't think he can interview right now until their season is over, but he is a candidate for the Patriots. Don't know if he'll come here. Mike Vrabel, of course, is getting thrown around.
Andy, let me ask you this. Who do you want to coach this team?
Deion Sanders.
Okay.
Deion Sanders. I know I said it. People think I'm crazy. Hall of Fame player. The guy would be electric here. The press wouldn't even know what to do with him because he's not going to tolerate anything. I think he's exactly what this team needs, a grand slam high. You mean to tell me people...
I don't know if I've ever seen someone handle the press better than Neon Deion.
But do you think, guys, let's talk about this, though. I mean, what would it be like if you woke up tomorrow, Deion Sanders is the new head coach of the New England Patriots? You mean to tell me people aren't going to be excited? I would be thrilled.
Of course.
Thrilled.
But I think people will be just as excited with Vrabel.
Probably.
I think Vrabel's a very good candidate. He did a lot of good in Tennessee. But before we move on this conversation, Steve, let's get your thoughts on the game and the coaching situation.
Yeah, the game definitely mixed emotions. Again, I'm not gonna complain about a win because that's a loser's mentality. That's not something that I'll do. So we'll take the win. I would have rather had the top overall pick, but hey, that didn't go our way. So that's unfortunate. My biggest concern was them potentially hanging on to Gerard Mayo. It's one thing to make a mistake; it's another to double down on it. I'm very happy they didn't. I'm happy they announced it yesterday. They didn't wait until today. They admitted right off the bat that they screwed up. I heard the entire press conference today, and Mr. Kraft sounded and looked defeated, humbled, and humiliated. And he should be, because I think a lot of this mess that this franchise is in is because of him. I think the biggest problems are him and Jonathan and whoever else up there. They created this mess. Now they have to fix it. So, the coaching change, yeah, that's just one part of it. There's a lot of other things too. The new coach is only one part of it.
You can't put it all on Kraft, though. I mean, this all started with Belichick's very questionable coaching moves, very questionable personnel decisions. So you can't put it all on Kraft.
Yeah, but a lot of the last this team was one game away from the playoffs just 2 years ago. A lot of the moves in the past couple of years have been influenced by the Crafts, and they've all been wrong.
Okay, so making Matt Patricia offensive coordinator was influenced by
No. Since then, they have their decision making has accelerated the demise of the franchise.
Oh, it's made it worse, no doubt.
Yeah, and now we're pretty much at rock bottom. Personnel, Kraft said it himself. We haven't drafted well in years. That's absolutely true. Whether it's been Bill or Elliott Wolf or whoever, there haven't been a lot of good draft decisions. There's been a couple like maybe May and Gonzalez. So those look to be okay, but overall, it just hasn't been good enough. The off the field problems, obviously, those are well documented. We've talked about that on the show all year. Another thing that he brought up in his press conference is that how the high point of this year was week 1 in Cincinnati. I agree with that. And how they've regressed all year, and especially since midseason. I agree with that. They had total no-shows at Miami, at Arizona, and home against the Chargers.
Horrible.
What did we all say we wanted to see this year? We knew they wouldn't be a good team, but we wanted to see progress, and we didn't see that. That combined with the off-the-field stuff, the stupidity in the press conferences, and whatever else, it just wasn't going to work. It was time to cut bait. Admit you screwed up, moved on. They did that. So, now it's time to find the right coach to lead this franchise. I really hope that they pick the right one, whether it's Mike Vrabel or someone else. And I know they will interview Ben Johnson. He can interview Wednesday because the Lions have a bye. You won't have to wait on him, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's more than one right answer too than who.
Yeah.
Take over.
I will say, my personal preference is Mike Vrabel, but whoever they pick, I don't want a first-time head coach. We just went down this road. We need someone experienced. We need a leader of men. That's what we need. I hope that they make that decision.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say my top 2 choices are Vrabel and Deion Sanders. I wouldn't mind Deion, but the one thing with Deion is, they're likely going to expect to bring in Shedeur Sanders' son as the quarterback, and that
which is not going to happen. So
that could be a situation where you're getting rid of May, and I'm kind of opposed to getting rid of May because I think he has huge potential. But I mean, if you could keep May and bring in Deion, sure, I'd certainly consider it. Deion's a great coach. He's had success pretty much everywhere he's went in college. So I don't think he's coached in the pros. I think just college. But everywhere he's went in college, he's had great success, and we know the players are going to love him. He's a very personable guy, very well-liked guy across the NFL, across college football. So, and he'd be a huge attraction that would bring in some great talent. So certainly not a bad option. And Mike Vrabel is a very good option. Vrabel took a very lackluster Tennessee Titans team and brought them to the playoffs a few times and made them a competitive team. And his last year it didn't go so well, but overall he has a pretty good head coaching record and had some great runs with that Titans team that I felt really didn't have the talent to accomplish what they did. So I think coaching played a huge role in some of these Vrabel Tennessee teams. And then, a guy like Ben Johnson's interesting. I mean, the Lions offense has been unbelievable this year. Could this be a guy that could become, one of these young head coaches, such as McVay,
Kind of like Sean McVay,
something like that, right?
Sean McVay, perfect example right there. D'Amico Ryans. I mean, look, it's not impossible to find that coach, but they're really going to have to put their work in. I mean, I know we're saying Vrabel and Deion Sanders; those are obviously the big names. Maybe there's some other names out there that we're not thinking of. I mean, I don't know, but it's a massive offseason. And then you got to figure out what are you doing with that fourth draft pick. Here's some good news for you.
Well, Steve wanted Matt Patricia.
What, to be the head coach? Oh, come on. Stop. Here's some good news for you, though, fellas. The fourth pick, Willie McGinnis, 1995, turned out to be a pretty darn good player. So to say that you can't get a good player at 4 is nonsense. You can still get
it's just about who you draft. That's all it is.
I think after you get your coach, the next mission is build around Drake May.
Yes.
Get him weapons. Get him receivers.
Have to.
I think the tight end situation is very good. That's one of the best situations this team has with, Hooper and
Hunter Henry. Yeah.
Hunter Henry. So I think you're good there. Running backs you need. Ramondre's been all kinds of problems. Gibson is just not a starter. He's a guy that like a third string you want just for a few snaps. They've essentially been using him as a halftime starter.
Yeah.
Or splitting snaps with Ramondre. That's not going to work. You need receivers, and you need an O-line, most importantly, to protect Drake May. Because
absolutely.
He got bruised and battered a number of times this year.
Massive thing, Tom. When I was at the Chargers game, Steve can attest to this. That Chargers offensive line was massive, being led by the rookie number 5 pick Joe Alt, who was pushing 2 guys around. I turned to the guy sitting next to me. I said, "This is what they lack. Something like this is offensive line. It always starts up front." So I think you got to draft offensive line.
If you look at the Chargers draft, what a tremendous draft they had.
Could have been us.
It could have been. It should have been, quite frankly. Harbaugh's the guy I wanted last year.
Yeah.
I thought he would have been perfect. He would have. He knows his stuff. He's had success pretty much everywhere he goes.
Yep. 49ers to the Super Bowl.
And who else to bring in than a guy that just won a college championship? Who's going to know the draft better than Jim Harbaugh?
Right. I will say this too, guys. Kayshon Boutte was not bad for this team.
I agree.
Him and Drake May, and Steve, you can chime in on this. I thought they had a little bit of chemistry going there. This guy was projected to be a first-round pick, but I think he got injured, so he fell back. But he was not bad for this team. And Pop Douglas, not a bad receiver. They're serviceable. They're not
actually, is there any other receiver that contributed more than Boutte, really? I don't think there is.
Him and Pop Douglas. I mean, really were your 2 guys.
Yeah, it's really those 2. The rookies they drafted this year, Polk and Baker, I think are going to wind up being busts.
Yeah. No, they get draft receivers.
Wolf said yesterday they viewed Polk as a plug-and-play guy. Well, I don't know who wrote that scouting report, but wow. I mean, the guy doesn't even belong in the league.
Could have had Lab McConkey. I mean, really.
You could have had him.
Well, there's been plenty of receivers that had no success in New England, but then go elsewhere and have all kinds of success.
Juju Smith-Schuster? Are you kidding me?
Right.
What? He couldn't even run a basic 5-yard out here, and he goes and plays with Patrick Mahomes, and he's having a Pro Bowl year.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just infuriating. They can't develop receivers here.
I mean, look at Gesicki. Gesicki came here as a tight end.
Jonnu Smith.
And now he's in Cincinnati and having the year of his life.
Yeah, Jonnu Smith, another guy. Nelson Aguilar. They can't work. Why can we not get a receiver to work here? It's just it blows my mind.
I'll
Really.
tell you one thing though, to go on Steve's earlier point, uh, hiring Mayo was a mistake. It was just a huge mistake.
Can't handpick a coach.
I give I give Kraft some kudos for correcting that mistake after 1 year because I know that's not easy to do. Now, I feel for Mayo because it does leave him in a very rough situation. The guy wasn't ready to be a head coach. He should have never even been put in this position in the first place. And it really does kind of hurt his career potentials, only having that one miserable year to essentially have on your resume. It would have been way better off for Mayo if he worked his way up through the ranks. He went from essentially linebackers coach to head coach, and that's just never going to work. You got to go to defensive coordinator. You got to work your way up, or you end up in this kind of situation. So I don't know if Mayo will ever have a head coach position in the NFL again. Maybe he will, but he was put in a pretty bad situation. So I feel for the guy. But at the same time, you need to let him go.
Agreed. But I could see him still being a coordinator somewhere. I think he's a well-liked guy. It wouldn't shock me if he got. Brian Flores, another guy we had here. He's done a great job at the Vikings.
One hypothetical: what if Vrabel comes here and wants Mayo as the defensive coordinator?
You can keep him.
No.
No, I don't think that will work.
No.
But
yeah, it would be. There's probably some hard feelings there. So
yeah, that's not.
There's no one on this current staff that I would want back.
Alex Van Pelt's gone too.
Well, supposedly there's conflicting reports on that, but
really? Because
there's no one on this staff that's worth saving, front office or coaching staff.
What about
in my opinion?
What about the quarterbacks coach? Quarterbacks look good.
Yeah, I don't think you want anyone who is associated with this stench of a season.
And by the way, I'll tell you who else I'm keeping though, Milton. That guy has huge potential.
Oh, absolutely. He was actually really good yesterday. I was happy that he played.
He has big potential, and he is not necessarily just a quarterback. He could be a Taysom Hill. He could be
very well could. Still think Drake May is better, but
I'm not saying there's even a competition for starting quarterback.
Right. Maybe keep this guy
what
around.
I'm saying is there's a role here for Mills.
Yeah, I think you're right, Tom. I think there is. So I think Brissett's gone, and you keep Joe Milton, and this is just, again, a lot of question marks.
Well, no, I don't even think that Brissett's necessarily gone either. Brissett's not a bad backup.
He's just on the practice squad, or you keep him around to help with Drake May and Joe Milton. But one of the things that really has been irking me this year, though, is seeing all the people that were in the Patriots system having success elsewhere. Brian Flores, Kevin O'Connell, Bill O'Brien at BC. It just makes me like we had these guys in our system, and for some reason and I'm probably missing a few as well. But why couldn't we get them to work out here?
Well, maybe the problem was a guy that is named Bill Belichick, and he dragged everybody down. Could have been. Just saying. It's a good question. Why are they having success elsewhere? Why are these receivers? Why are these coaches? Why are these tight ends having all this success elsewhere, but did nothing here?
Right. Yeah, I know. It's really eye-opening to see this because and then another guy, Nick Caserio. We had him. Done a pretty good job building the Texans, Another guy.
And you wonder too, like, is Kraft going to go with a guy like Vrabel, or does he want everything even associated with Belichick and the Patriot system gone in a totally new system?
Yeah, I was thinking about that, Tom. That is a good question. I don't know, and that's because if you hire Deion Sanders, he's got nothing to do with Bill Belichick.
Oh, that's completely a new system.
Yeah, completely a new system. Just like when you bought Parcells in '93, completely new system. Completely new system.
I'll tell you what, guys, it's going to be a really interesting offseason. This is going to be very, very fun to watch.
It is.
But we do have to get to our playoff picks. Wild card weekend is coming up. Believe it or not, we're already entering the postseason, and we'll have our wild card picks in just a moment. But first, let's take a look at our records from last week. And we all had a pretty nice ending to the season. And don't forget, folks, we're also picking the college playoff games as well. So those are included. But NFL wise, last week, well, I actually forgot. I didn't even add them up yet. But there were our picks. I got to add those up. I was at the Patriots game, so
Yeah.
completely
I had
forgot.
Minnesota, they lost, so I can tell you that. And the
Yeah.
Miami with an embarrassing loss to the Jets to end their season. Just,
But heading into the week, we're all close on points. I took the lead from you, Andy. I'm sorry about that, but you're
that's
still
okay.
right in there.
It's okay.
The college picks kind of made the difference in a lot of this. We're doing half point for the college games in our ranking system. So I got 182 heading into the week. You had 180, and we're all right in there. Jared's at 174.5. Mike has leaped over Steve thanks to his perfect college picks.
Mm.
So he's now at 172 points. And Steve, you're right around with 171. So it's gonna be a heck of a finish. And guess what? We're into the playoffs now, and those picks are worth 1.5 points. So a lot on the table here. Anything could still very much happen. So the playoffs crucial. We get these picks right if you want to win if you want to be the HCAM Sports Talk Pick'em champion. Who won it last year? Was it me?
I think you did.
Yeah, it was. Jared was a year before, so I'm trying to maintain my title here, but we'll see. We're all right in there. All right, so let's get started with the Saturday games. Saturday, January 11th, 4:30 p.m. We got our first wild card weekend game. LA Chargers at the Houston Texans. I just think the Texans have too many injuries. They have been depleted more and more, pretty much week on a weekly basis. I think the Chargers, they've been playing some really good football lately. They're pretty red hot. So I think they go into Houston and grab the win. Steve, who do you got?
I'm going with the Chargers here. I agree with all your points. The Chargers have been playing good lately and have been more consistent overall. Houston, I think they've played some of their worst football of late. So, based on that, I'm going to go with the Chargers here.
All right, Andy.
I am going to go with the Texans. I think they were in the divisional round last year. I think people forget that. And the Chargers, they still have that stench about them. The Chargers always finding a way to seem to lose. Now, they have been playing well, no question about it. But I think this is actually going to be this is a tough game because the Texans do have a lot of injuries. Don't get me wrong, but I think C.J. Stroud, I think the guy's got something. He's really good. They got some really good receivers, and this is, I think, going to be a very competitive game. I really, truly believe that, and I think the Texans are just going to squeak it out. This could be a very high-scoring game too. A lot of offense.
I think it will be a good game. Houston could fight, but I mean, they lost Diggs. They lost Tank Dell. They lost a lot.
Yeah, they did. I don't know.
I do think they'll make it a game. Definitely.
Yeah.
They're too good not to.
Yeah.
I have a lot
tough
of
to win on the
respect
road.
for Houston.
It's tough to win on the road. Houston's a tough place to play.
Yeah, I mean, at this stage in wild card weekend in the playoffs in general, anyone can win. Anyone. So there's no wrong answer here. All right, moving on to the 8 p.m. game. Steelers at the Ravens. Well, all right. I said anyone can win. I don't think the Steelers can win. I just think they're flat. They're just flat. I don't see a revival of the Steelers. Their offense has been horrid the last 4 weeks. I think the Ravens absolutely tear them apart. Andy, who do you got?
Couldn't agree with you more, Tom. I mean, I know it's a divisional rival here, but the Steelers just do not look good. Russell, I'm even considering, if you're the Steelers, do you even start Justin Fields? I mean, do you just to break it up a little bit? I still don't think you win, but Russell Wilson has just really regressed, and the Ravens they're just too powerful. Ravens all the way.
I'll tell you, Russell Wilson might be out of the NFL if he fails at this gig. This could be his last chance.
Might.
Steve, who do you got?
I'll go with the Ravens here. Ravens have been scorching hot they look great. Pittsburgh, they've lost 4 straight. They haven't scored more than 20 points in any of those games. And they looks like they're heading for a crash and burn, one and done again.
All right, Baltimore across the board. Moving to the Sunday games, this game to me is probably the most riveting matchup of the week. Denver at Buffalo. You want to talk about shootouts? I think this game has shootout written all over it. I think you're going to have maybe like 17 touchdowns in this one. It's going to be wild. But Buffalo's at home. They've proven they're pretty good in the postseason, except if they play Kansas City. But besides that, they have found ways to win. Denver having to go on the road, rookie quarterback Bo Nix against experienced Josh Allen. I think Buffalo wins, but I think it's a very tight game, and I think this game could have like some kind of crazy ending, maybe a last-second field goal or something like that. Steve, who do you got?
I'll go with the Bills. I don't think it will be very easy for them. You know, the Broncos, they're young, they're hungry. You know, this is their first playoff game in 9 years. That's a long time. So I'm sure they'll be very motivated. Going into Buffalo and winning is tough. They did do it last year. So, you know, I guess it's possible they could win. And they definitely won't be easy. I think it'll be a good battle, but I'm going to go with the Bills.
All right, I like it. Andy?
Going with the Bills, but again, going to agree with you and Steve, not going to be easy. Listen, I think Bo Nix has proven he can play. And I'm going to tell you this too. Anytime you get a coach like Sean Payton, you have a chance. I mean, he's turned this Broncos team around. I didn't think he had a chance after last year, but he says goodbye to Russell Wilson. He brings in Bo Nix. Portland Sutton's a legit receiver. This Broncos team is not going to be going anywhere for a long time, but I just think this is going to be a little too much to ask. Going into Buffalo, you know how crazy that place is going to be with a rookie quarterback. But the pressure is on the Bills. The Broncos aren't expected to win this game. So the Bills cannot lose this game. But I think they're going to pull it out, but it's going to be closer than people think.
All right, Bills across the board. Green Bay Packers at the Philadelphia Eagles. Andy, you could pick this one first.
Go with the Eagles. Although, I mean, Jordan Love, look, he won in Dallas last year, nearly won in San Francisco again the following week. So I don't know. I mean, it's like, you know, look what the Eagles did last year. Look at the egg they laid in the playoffs last postseason. So are they over that yet? Or but I do think they win this game. I do think they pull it off.
Well, they don't have Matt Patricia as their defensive coordinator, so I think they'll be just fine. I'm going with the Eagles as well. I think Green Bay is kind of running into a little bit of a rut at the wrong time, the very wrong time. That loss to Chicago was hideous by Green Bay. So
Not good.
I got the Eagles here. Steve, who do you got?
I'm going to go with Philly. They have, I think, very, very quietly been one of the best teams in the league all season. And I agree with you on Green Bay. It just seems like they've kind of hit a bit of a rough patch. And this time of year is not a time to hit a rough patch. So I know they played a great game back in week 1. But I think Philly gets this one. I would be shocked if the Eagles won the whole thing, to be honest with you. They've been really good all year. They have.
Whoa, calm down there. You're crazy. No one's beating them Lions. All
well,
right.
I think Philadelphia has the best chance.
Yes.
Yeah, they absolutely have the best chance. You know, you can't. They've had a great year.
They
Can't
have.
deny it.
They have. But you can't forget about the Vikings as well. Although last night they didn't look great.
Yeah, that was a bad pick by me. I thought the Vikings were going to play a lot better, but
I could completely picture a Lions-Eagles NFC championship.
I think that's a safe bet.
Picture that.
Yeah.
All right. Washington at the TB Bucks, Sunday Night Football. I can't doubt my boy Baker. I just can't do it. Give me the Bucks at home, baby. Steve, who do you got?
As much as I would love to pick Washington, I really like what they're doing down there. I got to go with the Bucks. You know, the Bucks have beaten some real good teams, whereas some other teams in this playoff field really don't have many impressive wins. You know, the Bucks do have some legit wins. So this one, I wouldn't be shocked if Washington did win, but it's tough to go against Tampa. They put together another strong season.
All right, Andy.
Going with Tampa, although I've been very impressed with Jaden Daniels. I don't know about you, but this Washington team is rejuvenated, no question about it.
Oh, I
I think
think
this
they're
is
great.
yeah, I think
I totally won't be surprised if they pull off this game, by the way. This is going to be a close one.
it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a very good game, but I like Tampa. I think they're going to pull it out, but it will be close.
Yes.
Could be the game of the weekend,
I
honestly.
think it will. I think it will be. This is going to be a heck of a game. All right, and then we got the Monday night football game on Wild Card Weekend. Minnesota at the LA Rams. Steve, we'll let you pick this one first.
I'm gonna go with the Rams. They've been up and down all season, but I just get the feeling they pull the win out here. Really did not like what I saw from Minnesota last night at all. If the Rams can get them trailing in that game, that's going to throw their script off. Minnesota is not great when they have to play from behind. So I think the Rams can jump on that. I think they get the win at home.
All right, Andy.
I'm going to give the Vikings another chance. I'm going to go with them. This is going to be a weird matchup, because I think the Vikings are a lot better than what they showed last night. They still have very good receivers. I think their defense is good. They just a tough spot for them in Detroit last night. But I think this might be a field goal type of game because as Steve said, the Rams have kind of been up and down all season. The Vikings have only lost 3 games, but this is a tough spot. Now you're going to go fly out to the West Coast and. But I think this is going to be a good. I think the Vikings are going to sneak this one out. It's going to be close.
All right, I'm going to go with. I'll go with the Minnesota Vikings.
All right, there you go. Tails never fails, right, Tom?
I had the coin flip.
There you go.
This is going to be a really close game. There's nothing in this game that could shock me. It won't shock me if the Rams win. They're at home, which is a huge advantage for them. They've played well at home. But fortunately for Minnesota, they're kind of used to domes. So they'll be ready to rock, I think.
Yeah.
The Vikings' defense is really good. Their offense has struggled a bit. Their defense struggled against the Lions, but the Lions are just on a different planet right now. So I really don't put a lot of bank into what happened last night. It doesn't affect my decision much. I expected Detroit to win that game, certainly not by that much. I expected it to be a lot closer. But I think Minnesota probably just had some cobwebs to get out of their system. I think they'll be fine in this game. I think this is going to be a really, really good game.
Now, is this the 4th and the 5th seed, Minnesota and the Rams?
Yes.
So if the Vikings win, they're going back to Detroit, potentially.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll have a different thought about that game, but in this one, I'll go with Minnesota.
Yeah.
So there it is, our wild card weekend picks. 1.5 points, guys. So, you can work your way right back into the top spot if you get all these right. So
Go Texans. I need the Texans to win.
That's true. That's true. You'll hop right back on top of me pretty much with that. So
should be some good games, hopefully.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be a fun playoffs. It's going to be fun. So hopefully someone knocks out the Chiefs. That's all I know.
Well, I think the Chiefs, just looking ahead real quickly, they are not going to have an easy run. They could have to play Denver. They have given the Chiefs problems this year. They probably should have beaten them twice. The Texans gave the Chiefs problems. I mean,
wouldn't that
Baltimore.
be amazing now? Denver knocks out Buffalo and then knocks out the Chiefs. That'd be insanity.
It really would. It really would. I mean, I'm just saying if I'm the Chiefs, I don't know if I want to play the Broncos.
They're a tough team. They are resilient. They are tough.
Well coached. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Bo Nix he's been unbelievable. He's been
great. That gives me hope because it shows that if the Patriots can just get the right system with Drake May, I think he can do what Bo Nix has done. He just doesn't have what he has,
Yes. I saw big potential in Drake May, so I'm very optimistic about him.
Absolutely.
But believe it or not, we're just about out of time, but we do have a few minutes for final thoughts. Steve, any final thoughts you want to share with us?
Yeah, hopefully the Crafts make some good choices here over the next few weeks. A lot of people in Foxborough have a lot of soul searching to do, and observe this mess that is this franchise right now. I agree with Andy. It's a crossroads. There's some stuff that they have to get right, and they need to reflect on what the problems truly are. And I hope that they get it right as a diehard Pats fan. Other than that, I know the first power ratings are out for winter sports this week, so that's always intriguing to see kind of where things stand and how they're going to evolve over the next 5 or 6 weeks before the statewide tournament starts.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the Patriots, they're all good on the club suite nachos front, but they need to fix the football operations.
Yes, I agree 1,000%. Those are great nachos.
Incredible. Andy, any final thoughts?
You guys concerned about the Celts at all, or you think it's just the NBA regular season?
Not worried.
Not worried at all. Just NBA regular season.
Yeah, I still think they're right in the mix. Tough loss in Oklahoma City yesterday. The Thunder are very good, but I still think when push comes to shove, to beat this team 4 times healthy is still going to be very difficult. They still have all the pieces.
Houston, that was a good win.
A good win, and then they got. I think they got Denver tomorrow, or because the show's being recorded. But no, I'm still very confident in this team. I can tell you this. You know what's impressed me the most about them this year has been the Peyton Pritchard. I mean, this guy is he could be a starter on pretty much the rest of the teams in the NBA.
Love me some Peyton Pritchard.
And I just think when the chips get on the line, this team is going to come through. Now, just a quick question for you. Jimmy Butler's unhappy. Any way you get him to come play here?
No.
I don't think you have. I think it would kind of interrupt the whole.
Just because of his playoff experience.
No, he's absolutely toxic, and we don't need toxic people here.
No, too much money too. I think
we probably have enough. Just a thought, but I heard the Golden State Warriors are interested, but I don't know.
He's like Kyrie 2.0. Wherever he goes, he's going to be toxic.
The Lakers.
He's just not.
Yeah, maybe
it's not a good character fit.
He'll get traded somewhere. It's interesting to see who he goes, but yeah, just Celtics. I think they'll still be right there at the end.
Yeah, I mean Celtics don't need any big splash moves. They might not need any moves at all. So I don't think you do any big splash stuff. All right, but my final thoughts. It is 2025, and the Pillar sports schedule is going to be absolutely insane over the next few weeks. So be sure to check out our website, hcam.tv, for a look at all of our upcoming broadcasts. A lot of crucial matchups coming up. We've already had a ton of crucial matchups in 2024. Some great games. Tremendous girls basketball game against Westwood. They unfortunately came up short, but wow, what an ending. Unbelievable game. I think we're going to have a lot more wow games going forward through this winter. So don't miss out on the Hiller Sports action. Head over to hcam.tv to find out where and when we will be broadcasting. But that is just about going to do it. Oh, and college football predictions. We'll post those online. We forgot to do it on the show. We will have our semifinal and championship predictions posted online as well at hcam.tv, so you'll be able to find that. Hook 'em horns. For Andy Barron and Steve Watson, I'm Tom Nappy. We thank you for watching HCAM Sports Talk. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again soon. Goodbye, everybody. To start off the week, Hopkinton Hillers boys basketball hosted Milford, and it was an absolute battle. Here's a look at what happened.
Rivera working against August, gets it over. Now driving baseline and going up and in. Dio Rodriguez, the junior, gets it over to the corner, up for 3. No good by Rivera. And the putback up and in. Dio Rodriguez. And that is going to do it.
Milford led 21-6 heading into the second quarter.
Good open opportunities. Just has to start knocking down those shots. From the corner for 3, Willinson, count it! Up the floor goes the Scarlet Hawks. The feet underneath, up and and in. Coutinho plus the contact. Willardson set to inbound. 8 seconds left to go. Hiller's going to have to work quickly here. Elstrom Hall driving down, up with the lay-in. Count it. And that is a nice way to end the quarter if you're the Hillers.
Hopkinton outscores Milford in the second quarter 16-14, but finds themselves down 38-22 heading into the second half.
Milford collected by Buckley. Taking it up now, Rivera down the lane, up for the jumper. Count it. Andrew Rivera knocking down the J. He has 7 points tonight. Elstrom Hall behind the back, up with the left hand, yes! Rivera feeds it over, 3-ball, count it! Jack Buckley with the swisher, and going for the steal, Rodriguez, and it's taken back by August. Willison underneath, Marcinowski, up and no good, pulls down the rebound, and puts it in, plus the foul! James Marcinowski making some noise in the low post.
Several different point scorers strike for the Hillers, and they outscore Milford in the third quarter 20-18, but still find themselves trailing Milford 53-42 heading into the fourth quarter.
Back to Canales. Canales up and in he goes. They can compete with anybody. They're just so good at trapping. Willardson feeds it over to Canales. Canales up with the hook. Yes! Hilbrun stripped away by Petit Friere. Trying to escape with it. Has it. Along the corner. Gonna take it. Yes! Patrice Petit Friere has put the Hillers within one. Willardson with it. Pick set by Marcinowski. Willardson down the lane. Yes! The Hillers have the lead. 10 seconds left. Feeds it to the corner. Vilbrun, yes! We're tied up at 68. Oh, it's stolen away. At the buzzer, we have a foul. What a steal by Luca Testa. He goes to lay it back up and draws the foul. And he hits. Second of two. He got it.
An epic comeback run by the Hillers, but they fall just short. 70-68 versus Milford. Gustavo Coutinho and Andrew Rivera led the way for Milford, dropping 13 points each. Top scorers for the Hillers included Tori Elstrom Hall with 14 points, Jackson Canales with 12 points, and James Marcinowski also had 14 points for the Hillers. Hopkinton falls to 3-1. Milford improves to 2-1.
Gave her life to coaching and teaching young athletes and contributed to something so special that is still being carried on today. My family and I are so grateful for the opportunity to dedicate this tournament to her. We created a memorial scholarship to give to graduating Hopkinton High School students involved in athletics and those who exhibit great character and leadership, as my mom did. The scholarships are awarded to students who are active members of the Hopkinton community and who are good people and even better teammates.
Later in the week, on Saturday, December 28th, the third annual Mary Corby Invitational Tournament took place. Hopkinton seek to earn their second straight tournament title. They started the action off with a meeting versus Algonquin.
Here comes the Hillers. With it, Vallis sends it into the paint, up and in. Abby Rabinovich is working the perimeter. Vallis driving in, up for the jumper, knocks it down. Over to Singh. Singh fires it to the block, and Algonquin responds. Eliana Campos.
The first half was a defensive struggle for both teams. After a 13-13 first quarter, it was a 7-6 second quarter. Hillers led 20-19 at the halftime break.
We got a few years to see that.
Second free throw, no good. Batted around, and Rabinovich comes up with a loose ball, kicks it out, and knocking down the three. Tegan Restaghini. Here comes that offense we've been waiting for, and picking it up along the far side, Chatton. Chatton feeds it in. Restaghini gonna take it back out. Along the perimeter they go. Driving in, Grady kicks it over. 3-ball, no good. And it's a Hiller rebound. Put back, yes, Whitman Kraus. And Algonquin needs a timeout just like that. The blink of an eye, the Hillers up by 11. And the Hillers have it off the mislaying attempt by Ella Singh. Here comes Vallis, sends it over now to the corner. Simulus for 3, yes! Gabby Simulus knocking it down from three-point land.
An offensive explosion in the third quarter. Hillers outscore Algonquin 29-16, and that would end up being enough as they took the 60-52 win. Sophomore Julia Chatton and freshman Abby Rabinovich dropped 13 points each. Tegan Restaghini led the way for the Hillers with 15 points. Hopkinton improved to 3-1 overall. Algonquin falls to 3-2.
Olivia Baglioni with her second 3-ball of the game. She has 6 points.
Junior Ava Baglioni dropped 9 points in the second quarter for Milford and tallied 19 points overall to help propel Milford to the 62-36 win over Westboro and set up a meeting with the Hillers in the championship game. Sunday, December 29th was day 2 of the tournament. In the consolation game, Algonquin battled Westboro for third place. Algonquin took the win 55-19. Following the consolation game, it was the tournament championship game between crosstown rivals Milford Scarlet Hawks and the Hopkinton Hillers. It was a back-and-forth first half. Hopkinton led 28-20 at the break. Milford had a good run in the second half, but Hopkinton would hang on for the 60-54 victory. Abby Rabinovich would earn the player of the game for her performance in the tournament title game. Tegan Restaghini was named MVP of the tournament. Hopkinton Hillers girls varsity basketball captured their second straight Mary Corby Invitational Tournament title to wrap up 2024 in style.
Bay Path may have outgrown its space, but not its mission. We need your help to build a new facility that matches our capabilities and dedication. Join us and help ensure we can continue to provide exceptional care and find loving homes for animals for years and years to come. Thank you.